Hey, it's Andre and it's time for another Freezing Friday flying update. Yeah, this weather is crazy. Mind you, I check over my notes and it was the same thing last year. Beyond cold, beyond ridiculous, like minus 20 something with the wind chill, just not safe to fly. So I guess it's indoor flying and building season. Actually, this time last year I was doing things like building the bench and the nice Warbird plane rack. Of course, this year it's a whole lot. There's a whole new story. I've got a 3D printer to keep me entertained, and this week I installed the auto level sensor that I picked up from gearbest.com. I'll link in the files all the details to that. Yes, I did have to install SkyNet, which wasn't that bad. I couldn't do it on my Mac because the drivers for Arduino and the Anet A8 don't talk. So I actually had to fire up the old trusty PC. By old, I mean silly old. But it works, and I'll just do a G29 command, and there she goes. Now, what's involved in it? Well, you flash the firmware, and then you go in and you drop it as low as you can. You know, you do your drag paper scenario and everything, and you do the offset. So the system knows the depth or the distance between, you know, it usually sits, the sensor usually measures about 10 millimeters above the board when it goes down. So in my case, I was minus 4, which is kind of big, but not too bad. And then you just go from there. So in theory, if the bed never changes height or anything, it goes and reads. So every time you start a print, you have to input into your startup code a G29. I'm still learning all this stuff, and so my codes will be changing slightly. But you can program it. You can tell it to do 25 points of interest on the board if you want to, but 9 should be enough. So what I have done is I have gone in and I have reset everything. I did a test print on a creeper head. You'll see it on social media, and I had a little waviness. So I've gone in with my ruler and I've rechecked all my z-axes, because that's where you'll get the offset and everything, because I've got to get it back up to printing the fantastic quality that we were seeing while printing the Stearman from 3D Print Lab, or Lab Print, sorry, I always get that name wrong. So it is coming along. Yeah, I understand apparently they're doing there will be a firmware and auto level support for the A8, but for now, I don't see any downsides to running the SkyNet. I will keep an eye on it and see how it all goes. The nice thing is I got to get rid of the z-axis limit, which I was never happy with. So slow and steady improvements. Once I'm satisfied with the print system working again, of course I'll jump back into the Stearman, but I want to do a couple things like a camera mount and maybe the bracing pieces up top. So yes, it was out of the cabinet. Normally it sits in there, but actually I'd taken it out because it had been a month of successful running, and I went through and I checked all my belts to see how everything is. I have ordered a few spares from gearbest.com because I can't get anything from Banggood. For whatever reason, the Banggood shipping has completely fallen apart, meaning I'm not getting any parts. I haven't seen any mail from them in weeks. The last order I got was stuff I ordered in November. So I'm not sure what's changed. I don't know what's going on. Obviously my GearBest stuff came in, so I can't recommend them right now. I can't link to them. I'm not ordering from them until all the other stuff comes in. That's just my personal policy. So it's unfortunate because they've been like my #1 go-to supplier for cheap, inexpensive electronic little toys and gadgets and gizmos. So if you have suggestions for other sources, let me know. I didn't get out flying last weekend. Absolutely no flying. In fact, after this is done, I probably should go and discharge all the packs, because I had charged stuff for the Spitfire, the EFXTRA, and the Alpha, and no flying. The weather is just so poor, so bad, so dangerous that, I mean, it's pointless in going out. I mean, Hobby King put out the Tundra Challenge. I want to do the Tundra Challenge, but I'm terrified of the results if I hit the deck. Like right now we have just this huge, massive amount of ice on the snow, and if you ever remember the EFX Racer video, ouch, that hurt the plane. It hurt me too. I frosted up my fingers pretty bad. So I don't know if we'll get out flying anytime very soon, unfortunately. That said, we know what the solution for indoor flying is this year, right? The Inductrix has been an absolute riot, and this week my son and I were goofing around, and I, for the first time, flew it on my goggles. And I have to say, I'm not going back to the FPV monitor display thing. I will fly from the goggles from now on. Immediately I snapped into you know, stabilized but high rates. I even tried unstabilized, but I still got to get used to that thing because I get into these cosine waves. It's just terrifying. But anyhow, goggles, a world of difference, way better. I could shoot tighter gaps, I could go faster, I could turn better, I could react to everything. So a whole lot less crashing, a whole lot more wows and oohs and ahs. So this thing will be my lifesaver over the winter. Yes, the EFXTRA is out from Hobby King. I'll probably pick up a couple spares here and there, and I look forward to just flying that airplane. It's going to be really neat when I come to spring. I'll reevaluate the racer, but like I said, last time I flew it, it was fine. So it's going to be neat to have both those airplanes ready to roll. I can't say I'll get to fly much, but at least you know I can build, print, and all that other stuff. Let me know if you want me to start up the live stream on this guy again later on this weekend. I will, once I've done all my maintenance and checks, put it back in the rack and set up the 3D, set up the wireless camera stuff and everything. And you know, if you're interested in me doing a live stream and chatting away, let me know. Other than that, have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Welcome on board.